A billionaire's autistic son had been screaming inside the restaurant until a waitress did something unexpected. The place buzzed with the usual mix of chatter, clattering cutlery, and soft laughter. Yet over all that noise came one sound that cut straight through everything, sharp, urgent, impossible to ignore. A child's scream. Maya, one of the restaurant's most experienced waitresses, felt her stomach clench as the cry echoed again. This wasn't a playful yell or a quick tantrum. It was deeper, raw, distressed, and full of panic. She glanced toward the table where it came from. A sharply dressed father sat beside a boy no older than 10. The child's face was flushed, his hands gripping the chair as if holding himself together. The father's trembling hands tried to soothe him, but the boy's cries only grew stronger. Maya's heart tightened. She had seen children act out before, but this was different. The father looked powerless, his attempts to help falling apart in front of a crowd of staring customers. Their judgmental glances only made the situation heavier. She saw frustration, shame, worry in the father's eyes. She couldn't just watch. She approached quietly. "Can I get you anything that might help him calm down?" she asked, voice gentle. The father looked up, pale and exhausted. "I don't know what to do anymore," he whispered. Maya looked at the boy, his face strained, his voice cracking. "It's all right," she told him softly. "We'll figure something out." Ignoring the room full of eyes, Maya stayed focused on them. She knew this wasn't a moment to walk away from. As she returned to the counter, she kept glancing back. The boy's cries had softened, but the tension was still thick. She could feel the father's fear. Fear of losing his patience. Fear of being misunderstood. Fear of failing. The boy wasn't misbehaving, he was overwhelmed. The way he shook, the way his eyes darted, it reminded Maya of children she had met with sensory overloads. She didn't know for sure if he was autistic, but she recognized the signs of a child in pain. The father sat frozen, staring at the menu without truly seeing it, trying not to fall apart. Maya came back to him. "You're doing your best," she said with quiet confidence. "You're not alone." His eyes softened, not with relief, but with the feeling of finally being understood. "I'm trying," he murmured. "Nothing works." Maya glanced around for anything that might help. Then she spotted a small, colorful fidget toy on the table's corner. She didn't know if it would help, but she had seen such things bring comfort before. She crouched beside the boy, holding out the toy. "Hey," she whispered. "Maybe this can help. You can hold it if you'd like." The boy's eyes flickered with a faint curiosity. He hesitated, but he didn't scream. Slowly, his small hand reached out and closed around the toy. He spun it gently, the motion repeating, steadying. His tight posture loosened, his breathing evened out, and the scream faded entirely.
The father's shoulders sagged with relief. "Thank you," he said, voice thick. This has never worked before." Maya smiled softly. Sometimes the smallest thing makes the biggest difference. The atmosphere settled. The father placed a hand on his son's shoulder as the boy spun the toy again and again, engrossed. It wasn't a miracle cure, but it was peace. Finally. Minutes later, the boy tensed again, overwhelmed by the noise. Maya hurried over, understanding instantly. "I'm sorry," the father whispered. "He's never like this in public." "It's not your fault," Maya replied gently. "You're doing everything you can." He swallowed hard. "I don't know how much longer I can keep going like this. I never want him to feel like he's a burden." Maya felt her heart ache. This wasn't just exhaustion. It was years of fear, guilt, and trying. "Let's try something else," she offered softly. She scanned the room and noticed the aquarium in the far corner. "What if we walk over there for a moment? The fish might calm him." The boy had already noticed the shimmering lights inside the tank. His eyes widened, his body stilling just slightly. The father nodded. They walked over together, the boy clutching the toy. As he reached the tank, his entire focus shifted. The glowing fish gliding through the water pulled him in. His breathing slowed. His hands relaxed. His small shoulders dropped. The father pressed his lips together, eyes glassy with relief. "Thank you," he whispered again. "I can't explain what this means." "You don't have to," Maya replied warmly. "Sometimes you just need the right thing to focus on." The boy stayed mesmerized by the aquarium, calm, stable, present. It wasn't a cure, it wasn't a solution to everything, but it gave them a moment, a breath. And sometimes that breath was everything. The father finally smiled, a small flicker of hope rising in his expression. "I never wanted him to feel different, or feel like he's too much." "He isn't," she said gently. "He's just coping with the world in his own way, and you're doing everything a loving parent does." He exhaled, shoulders loosening. "Thank you. I've been so scared that I'm not enough." "You're here. That's more than enough." As the boy watched the fish peacefully, the father's eyes softened. Maya stepped away, giving them space, but feeling a quiet pride. It wasn't a grand act, but it mattered. Later, when they finished their meal, the father walked up to her with his son beside him. "I don't know how to thank you," he said, voice trembling slightly. "You helped us in a way I didn't think was possible." Maya gave a warm, humble smile. "You're doing everything right. Sometimes it just takes patience and a little understanding." He nodded, looking down at his son, calmer now, holding the toy gently. "It's been a long road, but for the first time, I feel like maybe we'll be okay." She watched them leave, the father guiding his son with a soft touch, a hopeful expression on both their faces. As Maya returned to her closing duties, a quiet warmth settled in her chest. She hadn't fixed their challenges, but she had helped them through a moment that mattered. Sometimes that was enough, and sometimes that was everything. If this story touched you, share your own experience. Have you ever witnessed a moment where a small act of kindness changed everything?